Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at using variables in the command line. Let's get started. So when we're talking about variables, we're talking about using variables to store values for easy reference. A bash variable may contain a number, a character, or a string of characters and numbers. These variables do not need to be declared, nor are there data types. They are simply assigned. So here we have an example of how to assign a variable. We have cloud user and we are simply setting test_variable equals and then some value. That value in this case is this is a variable. We can then use the echo command to echo out what that variable is. The output is sent. This is a variable and we return to an empty prompt. There are some variables that exist by default. There are actually a lot of variables that exist by default. We can see default variables. If I type env with less command, it's show all default variables. You can see we have shell variable, pwd, log name, home etc. But I've picked out a few here. We have $home, this is the current user's home directory. We have $ps1, this is the primary prompt string, so this is the command prompt string, right here. We have $path, which is a colon-separated list of directories, where the shell looks for commands. So let's walk through an example. I want to set a variable and we'll just call it var1. So I'm going to set variable, var1 equals, then I'll enter some value. I have just set var1 as a variable with the contents of some value. Now to reference that variable, I have to use a $sign. So I will use the echo command and I will echo out $var1, and it's going to return some value here, and I can also echo out some of these Bourne shell values, such as $sign, all uppercase home. This is my home directory or /home/aman, in this case. I can echo out $ps1, this is my prompt. So let's take a little look at this because this is one of those fun things in Linux. We have the starting bracket here and this close bracket here. Those are represented up here just after the W for the closed bracket and just before the slash for the open bracket. This /u represents the user. In this case, it is Aman. We wouldn't want to set a prompt to be a static user. So this is a variable within the prompt syntax itself, where it will substitute the actual user in for the /u, and that is a lowercase u. So we have the @ symbol, so user @. Now, we using /h is a representative of the host name itself. We have a space right here, and then we have a /w for the working directory, represented by a tilde here, because this is a home directory. If I were to go up one level, this tilde would change and now I would know I am in /home. So I'll go back to my home directory, and that is kind of a simple primer on using variables. A lot of times you will use variables in shell scripting. So when we start building a shell script, we'll put values into a variable. You can use a variable to reference data that has been read in. So if we write a shell script and we ask the user for some information, we can then put that information and store it in a variable for reference later in the script. We can use variables to hold output. So for instance, if I type ls, we get file1, file2, file3, file4. Now this is going to be something a little more advanced, but hang in there with me. I can set var1 equals, and instead of using quotes, I can use a $sign parentheses, which is going to execute anything that occurs in that $sign parentheses. So this is in place execution of the ls command. Now, if I echo out var1, this is what ls was at the time. It was executed upon variable assignment. I think it's a useful thing to be aware of that we can use variables to store the output from certain commands. This lesson is now complete. Thanks for watching our video. If you found it informative, please like and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.